and welcome to the 13 doors. We open the Magenta Door soon, but for those of you that are brand new to this series, this is in some ways a pilgrimage, in some ways a journey, in some ways it's just a live that happens every Monday. But in my way, I will say that this is a pilgrimage. This is a pilgrimage into conscious creatorship. So each week on Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, a new door opens. A new color, a new tone, a new realm within the living matrix that we all inhabit. And together they form a 13-week spiral into conscious creatorship. And so this is guiding you from remembrance to mastery, from awakening to embodiment. And this is where we are also utilizing the lens of the 64 archetypes. So we bring in gene keys, human design, astrology, and in the way that I translate it, the 64 archetypes. And you learn to read this world as energy. You learn to read the 64 archetypes as the 64, as a living matrix. And we're learning to read the world as energy, as pattern, as intelligence. It's a multidimensional map. Today, we're really going to get into conscious creatorship and this field, the 64 field, this field of creativity, this field of ideas, this field of creation. And so each of these doors is a facet of the map. And so in the beginning, we went through this door and we approached a hallway of doors, of these 13 doors. And so each door is going to reveal a facet of this map, like I said, and it'll show you how creation actually moves through you, around you, and with you. And then inside every door, we explore your own design through mythic narrative, through somatic practices, through creative expression. And here we're learning to transform our shadows, to transform this world into creative fuel. We're becoming a match. We are holding the pose. We are staying the course. We are creating Shambhala for ourselves. Shambhala, heaven on earth. It's going to mean something different for everyone, right? And so for you, you have to get clear on what does Shambhala look like? What does Shambhala mean for me? And so that's what we're doing here. And we're co-creating with the universe. We're co-creating with the forces. We're co-creating with what's around us, what's moving through us. And so each door offers a transmission, an embodiment, some rituals, maybe some invitations to weave the wisdom of the 64 as a matrix, so that we can become co-creators. We're not just passively walking through this world and like, oh, Mercury's retrograde. I guess I'm a victim of Mercury. No, how can we use the transits? How can we use the planets? How can we use the cosmos in a way where we are in synergy, in teamwork, in this dynamic, co-creative, expressive dance with the universe. And so that's what we're doing together. I'm giving you little tidbits every Monday. Today we are approaching the Magenta Door. And this door is 7 of 13. And it's actually a very important one because this happens to be also connected to the seventh chakra. And in, you know, the traditional chakra system, we go up to 7, and the crown is usually seen as the pinnacle. However, there are many, many, many more chakras, but the pinnacle of the physical chakras is the crown. And then we kind of go outside of the physical body for the other chakras, or below if we're going into like the Earth Star or any of that stuff. But for the sake of simplicity, the seventh is the pinnacle of the physical chakras, and it's your crown chakra. And so before we dig into this door, before we unlock and open this door, I would love for you to just close your eyes to tune into your own crown chakra. This is going to be above your head a little bit, the top of your head. If you put your hand on the top of your head, you can connect to that physical place. And so the theme of today is inspiration, your divine spark, morphic resonance, creative union, receiving. And the color of this door is magenta, connected to spirit, inspiration, pure potential, cosmic creativity. And when we're tuning into the element, we're tuning into all the elements, to the universe. This is the crown chakra, the portal of inspiration, of union, and of higher vision. In the Human Design Center, this is the head center. This is about ideas, inspiration, questions, mystical pressure, downloads. Here we open to the unseen, and we let this inspiration descend like light pouring from above. Instead of imagining this chakra as this ball of energy or ball of light, we can envision this chakra as a funnel. Receiving, allowing things to pour into it, to funnel into it, to be receptive, to receive these energies. Light pouring from above. The magenta door is an upper threshold where ideas choose you, where the field of creation hums with possibility, where you become a vessel for what wants to be born. Here we ask questions. Here we're curious. Here we feel the creative pulse. Here the universe whispers through you. Here we connect to the divine. Divine inspiration is possible here. And the portal code for this door is I open. I receive. I become a vessel for what wants to be created. Inspiration flows through me. I am a portal of creation. This magenta door opens the crown of consciousness, and it's this place where inspiration descends, where ideas choose their vessels, where the unseen world brushes against the edge of form. It's a portal of pure potential. It's a field where creation begins long before the mind can perceive it. Here, inspiration is something that you attune to, that you're a match for. This is the threshold where we connect with this morphic field, this field of memory, this collective unconscious. It's the field where every idea, every invention, every realization, it's born from this subtle invitation to receive. An invitation. It's not a seeking, it's not a grasping, it's a receiving. It's an invitation given, handed to you. And here we need to remember that creativity isn't necessarily personal. You may be a creator and you may create things, but that which you create, it's not you. You may have birthed it, but it is an individual, it is a being, it is an idea, it is an entity all of itself. It just needed you to help create it, much like children. Creativity is relational. It's co-creation. It's a dance. It's a union. Without you, it wouldn't be possible. Right? But you're not the only one that created it. You needed to partner with it. You participate in this vast field of intelligence. In this field, the universe remembers itself through you, where ideas are echoing through you across time, across space. Sometimes it comes through multiple vessels. To be a match means multiple people might be a match for it. Multiple people might be bringing through the same idea at once. Maybe the language is different. Maybe the visuals are different. Maybe it looks different. But underneath it, the code of it, the intention of it is the same. If we are open enough, available enough, resonating enough, we can bring them through. There are things that want to be brought through right now. And you talk about supernatural aid and support and being able to channel these downloads to bring through things. Supernatural aid and support is amplified when the world really needs this idea, this thing to be born. Right? If many people are saying, I want this created, but I don't know how to create it. I want someone else to create it. I want to participate. Then there is a call, there is a wish fulfillment. You are like a genie in a bottle, granting these wishes. You become a match, not because you have to, but because you must, because you are a match for it. No, it could not be birthed through any other person but you. You are the match. You are the one that's chosen. People are praying for you. They're saying, I need this in the world. And let me tell you something. We're going to get into chemistry. We're going to get into some science because you may think, wow, that's a really big thing. That's a really big ask. It may be. But once one person brings it through, it makes it easier for more to. So you may be the first one to birth it, and it may not go viral with you, but there's so much work that you did to make it possible, to make it tangible. And you were the front runner. You were the trailblazer. You did it first, and you made it easier for other people to bring it through. Now you may be saying like, well, where's my notoriety? Where's my payment? Where's my people? Where's my like how do I get infamous for this? Well, it's not about the ego. We're a living organism and one person may bring it through and they may not even get the credit for it. And then the next person does and then it's like all the credit. All the credit. We need to know that your effort matters and there will be payment. That is how the universe works, is there's reciprocity. You are receiving for it, from it, of it. You are receiving in some way, shape, or form. It's just some people are meant to carry that message far and wide. They're meant to be the mouthpiece. They're meant to be the spokesperson. Sometimes the creators don't get the credit. Sometimes you write a book, you do get credit, right? It is out there, it's published, it's over there. You create a movie, it is out there, it's published, people are watching it. You create an offering, you create an art piece, you create something and people are receiving it. Yes, it's out there. But we're not doing it because we want notoriety. We're not doing it because we want to be famous. We're doing it because we must. We're doing it because it has to be birthed through us. We're doing it because we became a match. And the universe is asking that of us. So sometimes your ideas are going to be big. Sometimes they're going to reach a lot of people. And sometimes you are the trailblazer. Sometimes it takes a lot to bring that through, and you're the first. And the universe thanks you for that. The universe says it's not possible unless you bring it through. Others can't do it if you don't go first. You were built to go first. You were built to make it easier for others to bring through that same thing. So during this season, the Magenta Door is going to offer you to open your field, to soften your resistance, to answer the call, to let the universe think through you. It's this time that we get to court the muse, to listen for the idea, for the pull, for the spark of creativity, and to realize that creation actually has a will. It has a timing of its own. It's going to choose when, it's going to choose how, and it's going to choose who. And you might be that who. And if you are, if it is laid upon you, called upon you, will you answer that call? Will you be the steward of this idea, of this creation, however big or small, with no promise of if it's going to make you rich or famous. No promise. It's a calling. It's a humble calling. So guided by the frequency of the crown, that realm of divine inspiration, this door is going to attune you to that higher intelligence flowing through all things. Creativity is communion here. You're creating with the universe. And we've got 3 archetypes that live in the crown center of human design. The artist, 64, the mystic, 61, the detective, 63. Together, they're this trinity of inspiration. They're the ones that receive, that recognize truth, that refine, that inquire, that approach the mystery. The magenta door is calling the visionary artist forward. He, she, they. They're the ones that know that ideas are alive, that inspiration is a visitor, and that creativity is a partnership between human and the divine. So this is a portal where inspiration becomes possibility and possibility becomes creation. So let's step through the magenta door and know that we are living vessels of creativity. And when we open, the universe creates with us. We just have to be open to receive. So as we are stepping through the door, I invite you to open your palms as an act, a physical act of opening your crown, of being ready to receive. We're partnering with the divine. We're partnering with the universe. We're partnering with the cosmos. We're partnering with benevolent beings of love and light, of creator, of God, of source. We're connecting with that pure source energy. Here, we're not connecting to the distortions. We're not connecting to the discordances. We're not connecting with the shadow frequencies. We're connecting with the pure light of source. So we're utilizing our discernment. We're going within. We're connecting to the universe, God, all that is. We're feeling that heart-to-heart connection, that spark of creator, that spark of creativity that lives in you, that lives in me, that lives in all of us. We're connecting to that flame, to that ember, to the spark of creativity. We're a tender of that fire. We're a steward of that fire. We're proclaiming to burn brightly. We're saying, I am a conscious creator. I choose to partner with the divine in me. I'm co-creating. So let's just step through the door whenever you're ready, and let's get chatting about what's behind it. Okay. So this is a cosmic field. The field of ideas, the field of creativity is like a stream of consciousness, a stream of ideas. If you can imagine this like river, this river of ideas, and inside of them are fish, right? Ideas, fish, ideas. We cast our fishing pole, fishing line into that river and we wait. We wait for something to snag. Oh, I got an idea. Oh, and you bring it through and you're like, what kind of idea is this? What kind of fish is this? Right? And this field is a morphic field. Let me get my notes. Robert Sheldrake was a chemist, and he spoke about and coined this term of morphic resonance. And morphic resonance has to do with this field. And he believed that the whole universe had memory, much like Carl Jung believed in the collective unconscious, right? The collective unconscious is collective memory. And it's something that we're all tuned into, all tapped into. And the morphic resonance, the morphic field is something we're all tapped into, tuned into. And Sheldrake believed that there are laws of the universe, but there's also habits of the universe. And of these habits of the universe, when you do something repeatedly, That's what makes something a habit. That's what makes something easier to do. He was a chemist, and so he worked with chemical compounds. And he said that whenever you created a new chemical compound by adding things together, um, it and then crystallized it, the first time you did it, it could be very hard, meaning maybe it would take a month, maybe it would take a year for the things to crystallize, for it to come together. But after you did it the first time, it became easier and easier and easier to do it. And so after that first time, that first idea, that first form was created, it then appears in nature more and more and more because once it's done one time, it makes it easier for something to come through. It's almost like a portal is created and now it's set up, it's created, and things can now flow through. So if you can think of ideas in the same way, when someone has an idea and it has never been created before, it stays up in this field, right? And we need to birth it. We need to create it. We need to bring it into physical form. Once it's in physical form, it's easier and easier and easier to do, right? There wasn't a lot of entrepreneurs back in the day. Everyone had these 9 to 5 jobs, and there wasn't a lot of entrepreneurs, right? But then, there's this wave of coaches, there's this wave of entrepreneurs, there's a wave of influencers, there was this wave of people getting on the internet, people monetizing Facebook, Instagram, all these things, like creating businesses online. Someone had to go first. Someone had to do it first. Someone had to make the first million, the first 2 million. Someone had to do this first. And as they did it, they created a path. And I already gave this analogy before, but like when you're going down a ski path, a ski slope, and you're the first one going down it with fresh powder, you're creating the first set of tracks. And the more and more you go down that or somebody else goes down it, the more it becomes packed in, the more it becomes a set path, a set trail. People are like, okay, we can go down this way. I said the same thing about going off into the forest. The more time you go into the forest and use the same path, the more you create a path and people recognize it as, oh, that's somewhere to walk. Someone has walked there. And so once you go first, it makes it easier for people to come behind you. And so, like I said, Carl Jung believed in or had theories of collective memory, the collective unconscious, and we can all tune into it, draw from it, and contribute to it. And ideas are the same. Remember how I told you like there's like fish in the river of ideas? Well, some fish are the same species, and like a salmon. So you put it in a salmon, and a salmon maybe wants you to create the telephone and it's not created before and it's like, oh, salmon, okay, what does this want from me? Somebody else is going to grab a salmon too because people really need a way to communicate. So the telephone was actually the telephone, the light bulb, a couple other inventions, many books, many things, like people partnered with these ideas and created very similar things. The telephone and the light bulb were not just invented by one person. Other people had the same idea. And that's the same thing that is happening with you guys as you are dipping into the field. There are more and more salmon in the field if something really, really wants to be created because it's looking for the match. It's looking for the person to bring it through into form, and you could be that person. So we need to feel into and receive these ideas, and it's not going to just come like as one big download. It may, but it may not. When we're receiving these ideas, it may just be a little seedling, and we have to tend it. We have to water it. We have to be curious about what is this idea? How am I developing it? Oftentimes these ideas will just plant in our head and we'll start researching things and we'll be like, okay, let me go learn more about this. And then as you are taking from this area and this discipline and this discipline, you're like, oh, what if I put these things together? Right? Because we're working with ingredients here, the ingredients of life, ideas. Like we are taking from different places and we're putting it in the pot. And we're making something new by combining similar ingredients, right? Okay, I've used this ingredient before. I've used that ingredient before. And we're putting them together and we're creating something brand new with them. And that's what we do when we have an idea, when we're creating something is we're seeing how how other things can support it. Oh, what does it need to grow? Oh, what does it need for exposure? Oh, what does it need for conversion? What does it need for whatever it is? So, to be a steward of an idea, it means that you have to continually pour into it. You have to continually develop it. And you also, as you are co creating with it, as you are partnering with it, you have to ask it, like, because you're co creating, what do you want to become? And ideas will pop in your head that will help you develop it as well. But you have to keep showing up. Now, ideas, like I said, they have a frequency, they have a resonance. And if you're in resonance with an idea, it's going to be able to come through you, come into you easily. But are you available? Are you making yourself available to create, to co create with this? Do you have a ritual, a habit where you're making yourself available for those sparks of creativity? Do you sit down at your desk at a certain time, at a certain place? Is the shower your place of creativity? Do you go walking and that's your place of creativity? Where are these downloads coming in? Where are you channeling? And when you can get clear on what the best environment for you to receive these ideas is, the more you can keep showing up and be like, okay, it's like a devotion, right? I'm going to sit here, I'm going to just start writing and we'll see what comes through. Or I'm going to get in the shower, clear my mind, relax, soften, open and see what thoughts come through. Or I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to set an intention and I'm going to dream, and if I wake up, I'm going to write that down. Where does it flow easiest for you? Sometimes, for those of you that are like grid workers, and by grid workers, I mean the land really speaks to you and you travel different places and you like are gathering insights, resources, things, epiphanies, healing, different things. Um, there, where did it come from? Romans. Romans believed that genius was like a genie. And they believed that in every home there lived a genie or a spirit. And that spirit helped you. That spirit had talents, had gifts, had things that it passed down to you. It's similar to that morphic field. And if a family lived, this is what Romans believed, if a family lived in the same home over generations, that genie, that spirit, that genius was passed down from generation to generation to generation. And so the family could have a genius for mathematics, for business, for music, for whatever it is. It was a particular thing, an energy that came from the land, the place. Because remember how I said about the field of resonance, and when you do things over and over again, it becomes a habit or a law. So if people are continually developing a skill in the same place, it's the devotion to that place that makes it easier for people to channel that same skill, that same energy. You can go to places too that are deeply like artistic or have an energy about them, and you can channel that information too. Right? You can partner with the land, partner with the portal and bring it through. Now, the morphogenetic field is like an access point, is like a portal. And the place that you're living in currently, it's not just are you a match for like that cosmic energy, those ideas with the divine. There's something about the land also. There's secrets in the land, and they want you to receive them as well. So not only are we receiving from the crown, we're also receiving from the root. We're also receiving from Gaia. And your heart is the bridge between heaven and earth. We want to channel both. We want to pull through both. And you're getting information from the land because Gaia also holds an Akashic record. The Akashic record is the library of what we went through as a humanity, as a species. And she's collecting data. What do my children need right now? What are they calling for? What are they wishing for? What lives here in land? What do they need? And you're answering the wishes of the collective, but you're also answering the wishes of the divine, because there is also a cosmic map, a cosmic timeline of what's coming in the future. And so, how can we move towards that future? So, it's kind of like collective circuitry, where we have abstract circuitry, where we're looking at the past, and then we have logic, understanding circuitry, where we're looking at the future, we're moving towards the future. So, we want to utilize both. Where have we been? Where did we come from? And where are we trying to orient towards, head towards? What patterns do we need to break? Which ones do we need continuity? Do we need to continue? And oftentimes, some things have to die for other things to be created. Some things have to be destroyed for other things to be created. Sometimes we're preserving something, but we have to tune in and be like, what are the ramifications and the implications of this? How am I affecting generations backwards and forwards? You are a steward. You are creating. There is responsibility to what you're creating and putting out into the world. So as you are becoming that innovator, becoming that creator, there are ramifications for what you're putting out there. Think about AI. What are the ramifications for creating that? We won't know immediately. We'll know down the road. And so that is also what is responsible creatorship. To be a conscious creator is to also think about these things as, if I create this, I can't undo it. It's out there. So when people bring something through, remember, Sheldrake said there was the morphic resonance, and once you bring something through once, it makes it easy for other people to bring through. So what you're focusing on expands. What you're putting time and energy on, what you're investing your time and energy on is becoming bigger. So we're also being aware of what we are receiving, what we are taking in. What are you consuming in your day-to-day life? What music are you listening? What are you scrolling? What are you seeing? What habits do you have? Because that's also contributing to your vibe, right? What you're taking in is alchemizing in you, is affecting your vibe, is affecting your resonance. And the more you are consuming something, the more you're becoming a match for that thing, and the more you'll get ideas that are in resonance with that thing too. So there's also proximity to a frequency that can also help you come into alignment with that frequency too. So I forget who said it, but they say that you are, the five closest people to you, you are like a match or a product of them. I'm not saying it right, but it matters who you hang around with, because however they're vibrating at, you guys are vibing together. And so who you surround yourself with will either bring you up or bring you down, you know? And if you hang out with someone that's successful, that has a business, that is, or yeah, that has a business, let's just take that analogy. There's a proximity to that vibration. They've learned it. They've brought it through. They've created a habit out of it. And the more and more and more you connect with them, the more you're also learning from them through their field. You're accessing their field. So when you have someone in your ear and you're listening to their podcast, or you're listening to their live streams, or you're on with me like every week, like we are attuning to each other. This field has become habitual, right? We've already showed up every Monday for 7 times. And so we are creating a devotion to conscious creatorship, to creating Shambhala, to connecting with the field of the 64. And so we're in resonance with it. We're in tune with it. And so you're able to receive ideas, information, downloads, epiphanies can come through, because you found the place to plug into. You're plugging into it and you're receiving from it. It's influencing you, it's impacting you. So we have to discern and be picky about what it is we're plugging into, what it is that we're consuming, what it is that we are taking in on a day-to-day basis, because that's impacting us. And it's impacting our resonance and our vibe too. So if you're wanting to be a match and to create Shambhala or heaven on earth for you, it's like, well, what frequency does that live at? What do you need to vibe at to be able to create that? Because you want to be a match for that. So you need to be a match and a vessel to birth that, to bring that through. And it starts with, an idea. And then you bring that idea through. And little by little, you start to transform your life. You start to let go of things in your life that aren't a match. You start to bring in things that are a match. You start to take initiative and action that bring you into alignment. The universe loves movement. It's not just waiting for the fish to fall from the sky. It's like you got to go, you got to get a fishing pole, you got to walk down to the creek or the river, and you got to put that sucker in there. And do you have bait? How are you baiting? How are you baiting the universe? How are you baiting the field of ideas? How are you becoming a match for that? So it does take discipline. It does take um, the willingness to sit, to receive that big magic, to receive those sparks of creativity. And you may be a match. Oh my gosh, this was amazing. I just received this amazing download and la la la. Okay, now what? Now, how are we moving that along? How are we helping it incubate? How are we helping it grow? What does it need to grow? So you received that. And so are you saying yes to bringing it through? Right? You may receive that idea and it may be really cool. You're chewing on it for a second and you may be like, yeah, no. Because you don't do it the next day. You just let it go. That was a really cool idea, but I don't think I'll carry that forward. If you do decide, if it does spark something deep in you and you're like, yes, I want it. This is what I've been praying for. This is what I've been wishing for. This is what I want to do. I'm so lit up and excited and enthused about this thing. I want to do it. I remember in like I don't even know, for as long as I can remember, I was seeing this hallway of doors. Like when I would go into my Akasha, not just my Akasha, but my future too, like forwards, backwards, like skills I wanted to learn. I had a room where I can like go and learn about piano. I'm like actually sitting at my piano right now because I stuck it in front of this window and I wanted to be in front of it. And I also said after I set this up, I'm going to learn piano. So I can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to learn piano." I need to practice. I need to get back into the flow of it. I need to hang around someone that plays piano really well. If I want to play classical music, I need to go hire somebody to teach me piano, or I need to go and get an app that's going to teach me piano. If I'm really wanting to do this, if this idea said, "Yeah, you're in resonance with becoming really good at playing piano," I need to take action, initiative towards acquiring this skill so that I can play piano, right? And so when I got the idea of the doors, it just that it was the easiest way for me to visualize my inner world. And when I was learning gene keys, human design, and astrology, particularly just gene keys and human design, I was like, why are they separate? I know other people are thinking the same thing. Why are these two things separate? Like I'm going off and I'm looking at and human design is over here and I'm going off over here and gene keys is over here. But I want them both to be in the same place. And so I think in 2018 or something, I was like, well, to my group, I was like, well, would you guys want a place where it had both gene keys and human design in the same place? And I was like, yeah. And so I had the idea of creating the 64 doors and putting all that content and resources in the same place. And initially, that idea was only like information. It wasn't an archetype. It wasn't an archetype yet. It was information. Like, I want this information and this information all in the same place. But as I started to create it, and as more people started to come, and I was sharing this idea, like, I want to create this, but I can't create this on my own. That was my idea is like, I don't know how I'm going to do this all by myself. I need people to help me. And so I was eliciting help, like, oh, Melinda, come in. Oh, Bella, come in. Like, I need help. And so that when we started to create it, the archetypes started to be born. And it was like, oh, archetypes. Yeah. Like I always connect better with mythology, with archetypes, with people, like having a conversation versus personality trait. So I started to develop that with the help of others. And then over the years, I kept stewarding it. It didn't end with the first, iteration of the 64 doors, it kept going. And I was like, okay, what more can I create with this? Okay, courses, okay, teachings, okay, artwork, okay, this, okay. And then it just kept expanding. And that's how it works is it wants to grow, it wants to mature, it wants to evolve. And so what are you a match for? And then how much will you develop it? How much will you continue it? How much will you master it? And if it's never done before, it's always hardest to bring it through in the beginning. And there's also a lot of excitement and enthusiasm in the beginning too. I remember when we first unlocked the 64 doors, we did it door by door by door. So every 6 days, a new door was being opened. And that was like an insane creative process of revealing that. Still doing it, but now it's easier for me to create in a 6 day window than it was in the beginning. It was so hard in the beginning. I was like, how am I going to make these deadlines? But I've been doing it for five years now. So easy, easy peasy. Okay, I know what I need to create. Here, I'm going to create it because I keep showing up. And as I keep showing up, I keep partnering with the archetypes and they keep giving me new ideas and new ways to see them and new ways to explain them and new ways to visualize them. Every time it's new. Next year, when I do this again, it's not going to be the same. There's going to be new iterations to it. There's going to be new ways to explain it, to expand on it. And the 64 is a field, right? It's in us, it's around us. We're walking the wheel. We return to it all the time. So what better thing to master than those 64 portals? Because all these field of ideas are also coming through those portals. It's how our matrix is created, right? They are portals. So ideas are coming through at different times as well. You know, you chose your birthday. You came through because you're like, Venus needs to be in this location and Mars needs to be in this and Jupiter in this because I need all of these because this is what I want to accomplish in my life. And I need these aspects. I need these personality traits. I need these skills to be able to do what I came here to do, whatever our divine assignment is. This is the character I wanted to play. Ideas are the same thing. They want to come through in a certain time as well. And they have a due date. And some are more urgent than others. Some are like, humanity needs this now. And so it's going to come through whoever is willing to steward it, whoever is willing to birth it. It may land in 100 different people, but it's like, who has the discipline to bring this idea through into form? And if it's never been done, you better believe it's going to be harder than other ideas that have been done before. To be a unique creator, to be someone that's bringing through something that has never been brought through before is a big responsibility, and it's dedication. It takes your dedication. So ideas have their own urgency, they have their own due date, and you don't have to bring them through. And if you don't, the idea will boop and go to someone else. I think Elizabeth Gilbert, she was talking about in her book Big Magic how she had this idea for a book about the Amazon and like this love story. And she started to bring it through. So she started to do the research for it. And she didn't end up writing it, continuing it. Something stopped and she had to do something else. Well, she was saying that there's this other woman who did bring it through. And Elizabeth Gilbert and her had seen each other in person and like said hello and like gave a kiss on the cheek or the mouth or something like, and she believed that that's when the idea kind of jumped to her, to the other woman. And the other woman wrote it, brought it through, put it out, and then they were trying to like figure out timelines to see when did this happen, and they were like, oh, it must have been the kiss. It must have been the kiss where I exchanged it. Sometimes that happens, and you have these ideas. Like once you get the idea, and it's living in you, it's vibrating in you, it's kind of like hanging out in your field. And maybe you didn't bring it through all the way. Maybe you did a little bit of research or a little bit of mulling over. You have a conversation with someone else who's also a match for that. It can jump ship to them, and they can bring it through. That's why also in the very beginning, when you are a steward of something brand new, it's it's a sapling. It's a baby little tiny seed that's just sprouted. You don't tell anyone what you're doing. You don't want that negative influence or impact on that. Oh, that's a stupid idea, especially if it's brand new and you got a lot of Aquarian energy in you and it sounds a little bit wacky and it's futuristic and people are like, that'll never land. Nobody wants that. We've got this. Why would we want that? Don't don't share it in the beginning stages because you don't need the naysayers influencing your ability to create it. And you don't want them to also influence you abandoning that idea. So it's just like, when people get pregnant and they wait like after the first trimester to share that they're pregnant, to share the news, because it's very easy to lose the baby, to have a miscarriage in the beginning. The same thing happens with ideas. Only ideas are not physical. It's much easier to lose them. Much easier. And I know some of you have a lot of shame, a lot of guilt around, I have all these things I started, but I didn't finish them. And that's okay. Because also, sometimes what we're doing in what we're creating is helping strengthen a skill that we then carry over into the next project, into the next project. And then maybe they're like iterations of something. When you're writing a book or whatever, you're writing something and you got a draft, and you're like, oh, no, not this draft. Oh, no, not this one. This idea. No, we're trying to find what it is we're here to write, speak, draw, create. And sometimes it just doesn't land. It's not the right thing. We're like, so why finish it? And like Sheldrake said, when it comes through once, the first time, it makes it easier for other people too. So you might have started it, someone picked it up and said, yeah, I'm going to finish this. So you may be a starter, but you're not a finisher. Someone else will pick it up. You may be a generator of ideas, of concepts. Someone else will pick it up and do it. You'd be surprised. They don't even need to be in your vicinity. You've brought it into the collective unconscious, into the morphic resonance that we all draw from. You're contributing to it. So we don't need to feel shame around what we didn't complete. Because if we have a contract or something that has to happen in our life, you better believe it's going to. Like the cosmos, the universe are going to make it so, make it happen. It will happen. If it's for you, it'll happen. So ideas, they have their own season, they have their own due date. They seek collaborators, they knock on the door. They wander the world looking for someone who is open, present, committed, emotionally available, and resonant. We got to be a match, and we got to continue to be a match for that. Creatives are antennas. We are attuning to the field of possibility. And when we're a match, boom, that thing lands, that thing drops in. So this Magenta Door during this week, we are here to feel into what we're a match for, to become available to see what wants to land, what wants to drop through. We have to make space, lots and lots of space this week. And you want to create a ritual, a routine where you're showing up and you're being available. Whether you're sitting at a desk or you're going for a walk and you're like, I'm available. You're just saying to the universe, I'm available for your sparks of creativity. And you go off and you walk. You go off and you write. You go off and you shower. You go off and you swim. You go off and you do something that is your signifier for I'm open. I'm ready. You pull cards. You sit down. You meditate. Or you go to sleep. Whatever your workspace is for creativity. You need to discover that and then keep showing up. How can the ideas come if you're not home? They're like, ding dong, oh, not home. Not home. So I'm here, I'm open, I'm ready to receive. This is the practice of stewardship. You receive the spark, you cultivate it, you carry it within you, you bring it into form. And if you stop, the idea moves on or it waits until a new spark. Because sometimes we have to be in the entropy, in that gestational period where it's like, okay, it feels like nothing's happening. but like everything's pooling, everything's collecting. And then boom, drops in all at once. So you got to tune into that idea. What's the frequency of it? Once you get that spark of creativity, what does it feel like? What is the texture of it? What is the color of it? You want to get familiar with it so that you know when it's here. Oh, it's calling me. I remember when I got my cat, I went in, because, anyways, leave those details out. But she, I knew she was mine. And there was two of them. There was her and another cat. And when I went home, her energy, like she just kept showing up in my field. I was like, oh, I can't stop thinking about this cat. And there was two of them there. And I'm like, well, maybe I need to adopt both of them so she has a friend. But that other one, no, didn't come to me. Wasn't a match for me. Wasn't in my field. She was a match for me and my family. Kept showing up. I'm like, listen, I know that you don't want to have a cat right now, honey, but I need to get this cat right now because I don't want anyone to get her. And I feel like she just won't leave me alone. And I got her. And she's a perfect addition to our family. But ideas are like that too. They knock. Once they know where you live, they're like, hi, 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 do you want to create with me? Hello. And when we say yes, you better believe like they're going to pervade our thoughts. And we're going to, oh my gosh, okay, I got to sit down and I got to do this. I got to sit down in front of my piano and I got to start playing away. Right? I got to develop this skill. Um, so we got to be open to the field of creation. So listen, feel, respond to what wants to be born through you, what wants to co-create with you. Inspiration's gonna find you. And it doesn't matter what your resume is. You could have never played piano, never drawn, never taught, never coached, never done any of this stuff before. It does not matter. It will catch you up to speed. And maybe you're supposed to do it in a completely different way than anyone has done it. So why would you go learn from people that have already done it and then homogenize if you're here to bring something brand new, a new perspective, a new way, you know? So we want to get into the field of resonance. We want to get into the field of synchronicity. And we want to also feel the pulse of the global creative field because there are so many instances of like supernatural aid and support coming through to people who are supposed to create something that the world is calling for. Like I've spoke about this before, but the movie Back to the Future, so many synchronicities, so many things had to happen in the right time, in the right place, with the right people for that cult classic to come through. The world was wanting it. They wanted a view of the future. They wanted to know it was possible. They wanted someone to bring through a visual aspect of it. What is it like to travel to the future or the past? And we got it. We got that visual stimuli. People were asking for it. People are praying for something from you. Right? There are no genies out there. You are the genie. You are the genius. You are here to bring it through. And what you're doing for you, you're doing for others. You're doing for us. So even if it's your wish, it's also benefiting, impacting other people too. So we want to stop trying to create. We want to start partnering, co-creating. You are a co-creator. You are a match. It may be a little wish inside of you that you're answering for yourself, or it may be a wish, like a call to action, a wish, a call of the clarion, a call to you to create something for the world, for your community, for your family. And remember we spoke about like bandwidth and working out. We have to make sure that we are grounded and anchored and balanced in our lower chakras too. We want to be emotionally, mentally, physically fit to be able to hold this. Because if we keep collapsing, it's going to be really hard for us to birth. When you're physically pregnant with a baby, a lot of changes happen in you, especially physical. You have to expand to be able to carry that baby. You are going to need to expand as you're partnering with these ideas if you're going to bring it through to its biggest, greatest capacity. You're going to need to grow. So when we're talking about the crown, the head center, we're also connecting to the archetypes that live there. And they're your allies, they're your support. We've got the 64, the artist archetype, illumination, right? It moves from confusion. Oh, I don't know. What does this all mean? To imagination, to illumination. The 64's job is to look at the past and to make sense of it through extracting all of these different flashbulb memories, ideas, puzzle pieces. It's receiving the puzzle pieces. It's passing it down to this 47, and the 47 is making sense of why this happened, how this happened. It's transmuting the emotional energy of the past and creating new fuel for it, of wisdom, of sparks of sometimes people suffer. Humanity's suffering. Pain is inevitable. These things happen. We have emotional spectrum. Things hurt. Things feel good. People go through trauma. People go through hardship. When a certain frequency, energy, experience pervades the collective, it's alive in the collective unconscious. These experiences are experiences that we are a match for. They're mythic. They're archetypal. Many people lose their partners, lose their children, lose their jobs, lose loss. Loss happens to many people, right? How do we recover from loss? That helps many people. You and what you've gone through, as we make sense of it, as we say, oh my gosh, this is what I went through, this was hard. Whatever skills you've learned to help you cope, to help you recover, to help you heal, those are needed in the world with people that are going through and have gone through loss, that are grieving, that are hurting, that are recovering. So the idea, the thing that you might bring through might have helped you in your situation, and it will most certainly help others in theirs. So what you've learned from, in what you've been through, in what you've grown through, if you've made it to the other side of grief, if there is another side of grief, if you've made it to the other side of pain, of loss, of all these things, and your day has gotten better and better and better, you have improved, you've grown, you have learned from the experiences. You're here to help people by being a lighthouse come out of their darkness, to elevate and raise the vibration of others. You aren't what you've gone through. You aren't the pain. You aren't the suffering. It's transitory. We're learning from it. We're growing through it. We're evolving from it, right? And we're going to keep manifesting experiences like that. Like, oh, why does this happen? Why cancer? Why this? Because we're here to learn something. We're here to grow from these experiences. People are here to learn skills, to learn talents, to learn medicines, to learn antidotes, to learn to bring through something from the shadow. We're transmuting the shadow, and the gift is in the pain. The gift is in the shadow. We have to go through it. We have to grow through it. And those are some of the ideas that are coming through. Those are what we're partnering with. And you might be like, why did I sign up to partner with this? It's painful. There's purpose in the pain. The 64 is helping us understand that purpose in the pain. The 61 is helping us connect to the great mystery, to the divine, to the cosmos. It's helping us approach God, universe. It's helping us become the mystic. And it's helping us answer those great questions of why? Why did this happen? Why? What is God? Why would God have, like, we're connecting and recording the mystery in the 61. 61 goes from psychosis to inspiration to sanctity. We've got imagination, inspiration. Wow. Lots coming into this pressure center, to this head center. We are inspired. What inspires us? That field of inspiration is contagious. When we're in the field of inspiration, people are also tuning into that. When they're seeing the spark, the lighthouse, the illumination in us, they're finding it in them. 61 is individual circuitry. It inspires. It inspires creativity. They're highly creative. They make their whole world about it. That psychosis is, I'm going to see the silver lining in everything. Everything is silver lining. Or the crap. Like it does like the psychosis is that's all I see. Or all I see is God. Or all I see is the divine. Like, and they'll convince you to only see that too. I see the silver lining. I'm an optimist. I'm connected to the divine. Like, they're going to make their whole world and their whole worldview about that. That's what creates this field of inspiration, is because they're so dedicated to that field. That is where they're hanging out. That's the frequency that they've connected into, tuning into. It's coming through them. They are inspired by it. They're enlivened by it. The aliveness is coming through them in that, and you're connecting to it. And then they convince you that. Inspired, right? The 63, the detective, doubt, inquiry, truth. It is looking for the truth, not just any truth, the truth. Oh yeah, and the 61 is also called inner truth. Or we may be courting the mystery, but it's like, what is the inner truth? What is that truth? The why, the mystery, like the truth. The 63 is the detective, is the one that is like, here are the breadcrumb trails. Where is this leading me? What is the truth? It's going to be the cynic. It's going to be the cynic. It's going to be the doubter. It's going to be the one that doesn't believe, because it needs the proof. It needs the proof in the pudding. It's very logical. It's logical circuitry. It's here to see if an experiment repeated over time gets the same results over and over and over again. It must be truth. It must be true. And the detective is also looking for, like, who done it? Like, who's in the murder mystery? Who did it? Here's the evidence. Here's the data, right? And these are amazing minds, because they're not going to be homogenized by, like, the world. They're not going to be like told, oh yeah, miracles are real when they happen. Do they? Or is it just da 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 da? Like, it's gonna have to be proven to them. And so they're the ones that are proving things. Going through and figuring out what is the truth. But we have to be curious. We can't just try to prove it wrong. We have to be open to it being right. So it's like, we need to be unbiased when we're collecting data and evidence. It could be this and it could be this. We don't want to be biased. We don't want confirmation bias, where it's like, well, I think it's this, so let me collect all the evidence to make this true. No, it wants to know the truth. So it needs to have all the perspectives. It needs to have all of the data. It wants the answer, but it needs to be the true answer. It has to be unbiased. And so when we are working with this realm, we need to test and refine. We need to collect evidence. We got to be inspired by the idea that is coming through. You got to be like, oh yes, I will make my whole life about this. You have to identify with it. If I didn't identify with the archetypes or human design, gene keys, astrology, if I wasn't already speaking it on a day-to-day basis, I would not be the one to partner with, the archetypes would be like, no, she's not about this. Like, she's not going to steward this. Like, she's not obsessed with it. But they knew to partner with me because I was inspired by it. And I was inspired by Richard. I was inspired by Ra. I was inspired by the people that came before me. I was inspired by the people I was working with. Melinda, Bella, Brandy, Tim, lots of people. I mean, like, you have to be inspired. You have to see, like, oh, this is what they're contributing. Oh, this is, and then we're speaking the language together, right? And it's going to be confusing in the beginning. All ideas are going to be confusing. Like, what do you want from me? But you've got to dig into and use your imagination and be like, okay, what's the answer to this question? What data do I still need? How can I make this idea, bring it down into form? we're going to need to use all the archetypes in the head center. And they're going to need to pass on the information to the ajna center. And they're going to need to pass on the information to the throat center. And sometimes you're not going to be able to get that information all the way down to the throat center for manifestation. You're going to need to partner with people. And so sometimes teamwork is necessary. Sometimes you're not the one that is going to bring it through only by yourself. You're going to need to partner with people because you're not complete in the circuitry. You need other people. You have a split. You're triple split. Even if you're single definition in human design, you still need people because they're going to bring in aspects of it that are going to help it come into form. Like you're going to need to bring in nutrients that it needs. And it's going to tell you, hey, I brought this person to you because we need them. And so you're going to co-create. And instead of it being you and the idea, it's going to be you, the idea, and someone else. And you got to be able to discern also, this is a very important part of creation, is sometimes we're going to, like, some people will come in and it's for a season, but you need to discern, like, you are still the steward of this. You are still the mama of this. And so protect your baby from the naysayers in the beginning, and also from the people who actually, like, there is greed in the world. People are going to come and try to take that idea and pass it off as their own. They're going, like, it is, like, that is sometimes the culture that we're in. And so if it was your child, would you let somebody come in and say, this is my child now? I'm going to go take it to my house. No, you'd be like, no, sorry, Mama Bear says no. So if you're partnering with an idea, you're bringing something into form, you've already put a lot of energy and effort into it, you're going to have to harness some of that Mama Bear energy, some of that Papa Bear energy. Because we want it to grow, we want it to develop, we want it to get out there. And the moment it goes into someone else's hands, it's also going to be transformed. And sometimes we are passing it off to somebody else, and it's like a football. Here you go. You're going to make the touchdown. I'm passing it to you. I'm passing the baton. But we have to go inward and discern, is this idea done with me yet? Am I done with it? Or are we needing to elicit help? And how long is that help there? And you're going to have to feel into, where is it starting to corrupt or distort the idea? You first need to be very, very connected and attuned to that idea, to that creation. Because as soon as you start bringing other people in, it starts alchemizing, it starts changing. We don't want to control it too much either. It's a whole learning process of reading the energy, reading the morphic field. It's different than when you're carrying a physical baby. Your body knows how to do this. Like, yep, okay, I know how to do that. It just grows. It just does it. And then when it's time, it births the baby. Your body does it. But our mind tends to get in the way a lot with the creative process. And it can influence the creative process a lot. So we need to make sure, are we balanced? Are we aligned? Are we vibing? Are we distorting or corrupting the idea? So continuing to come back and checking ourselves and checking our mind. It's a tool, but it can also really toy with things in the process. So we're going to continue to talk about spark of creativity, about creation, about becoming a conscious creator. Now that we are at the crown center or the crown chakra and the head center, we are at the pinnacle of this. And this is where we become the antenna. This is where we become the receptacles. This is where we become the vessels for these ideas. And as you are tuning in this week to feel into, all right, what am I a match for? What idea, what spark is coming alive in me? And as you're starting to discern and feel into this thing that's landing or dropping in, maybe you're ready, you're primed, and this week something's dropping in. Or maybe you're at the point where you're just trying to get your rhythm, get your routine, get your, I think, what is it? You're like setting a trap for creativity. Anyways, you're showing up, you're going on your walk, you're getting in the shower, you're sitting down, you're drawing, you're painting, you're doing something to get into the creative flow. You're pulling cards, you're meditating. You have to decide how, when, and for how long you're showing up. And this is going to be difficult too. Like you don't spend the whole time, in the forest, in the woods, walking or sitting down writing. You set a time limit, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. And once that time limit is up, you leave. You're not indefinitely spending. And if you're in flow, you also stop. Because it's odds are you tune into that frequency. The next time you sit down, you're going to be able to pick up that flow and go again. So don't worry about losing it, losing the thread. The thread will be there when you come back the next day and sit down and do the same thing. So this week is going to be about creating a routine to become receptive, to become open, and to feel into what is the way in which I receive. Is it walking? Is it sitting down? Is it meditating? Is it doing some kind of creative process and then seeing what ideas dropped in or thoughts came in? It's you partnering with the divine. It's you and the divine co-creating, being in dialogue, being in communion, receiving. And so that's the homework assignment for this week is like, how are you showing up, for how long, and where? Try to keep it the same. Your home base for creativity, keep it the same. Don't, I know your third lines are going to be like, but I want to do this today and this today and then da, 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 da. Try to keep it the same just for the sake of getting into the flow of it. Make it a routine and see what comes through. And for those of you, like that spark of creativity might have been waiting years for you to get into this particular flow, and then it all starts coming through. Might have just been waiting so long for you. It's like, oh, finally, she or he is open. All right. So that's what we're going to be working on this week. So I don't feel like it's over, but I feel like there's this like, and I mean like completion. I'm feeling the 64. I'm feeling that field of confusion. I'm feeling like, how do I end this? How do I complete this? So just dropping into silence and feeling into the field, feeling into the pure potentiality. Like there's so many different ways to go. Getting familiar with this field, with this range, and tuning into one direction. I just invite you to close your eyes with me. Take a deep breath in. I want you to imagine that you have a nose in the top of your head and you're kind of like breathing through the top of your head. Each breath is kind of opening up those passageways, clearing out so easily and effortlessly. We're cleaning our filters. Every exhale out is letting go of any of the distortions, any of the corruptions, any of the things in the way. You can itch your head. It may start to feel itchy as it's like waking up, coming alive. Just tuning into our crown center, our crown chakra again. Imagining that funnel forming. Just saying, I'm open. I'm ready to receive. And then trusting whatever the first thought comes in, whatever image, whatever lands, whatever next step or direction that you're given. We're partnering with the divine. We're partnering with God, source, universe. I want to become a match for Shambhala, for heaven on earth. I want to become a match. I want to become a match for spark of creativity. How do I do that? If we're confused, we ask questions. How do I do that? What do I need to do to become a match, to receive? What is meant for me? What wish am I fulfilling? What is my wish? Just allowing yourself to ask the questions, to get curious, and to know and feel into when something sparks you, when something inspires you, when you feel that excitement and that enthusiasm, like, that's it. Oh, I like that. You're going to have many things that float through your field, and you got to find the right fish in the stream. You got to find the right one. You may throw others back, like, no, I'm not tuning into that frequency. But when you know, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's it. Oh my gosh. And then you'll feel yourself pull in that direction, and you'll know the next step. And then you'll ask another question, and then you'll get the next step. So just continue this like it's a process, like it's a breadcrumb trail that you just keep, oh, and here's the next thing, and here's the next thing. You may not get the whole picture, but you'll get it in time. So continue to show up and continue to ask those questions, and you'll get the next step and the next step and the next step. And sooner or later, you'll be on your way. You'll be unstoppable. And you'll be right in that process of co-creation. That spark of creativity will now become this big, huge flame. And you're like, okay, it'll be your fuel. And in this transit of the powerhouse, we are here to have resources available to us, more energy, more money, more time, more resources. You have to ask yourself also, what am I investing these resources in? Being really aligned with, so that we're not compromising. We'll talk more about this tomorrow during the Walking the Wheel call as we talk about the powerhouse. But for now, tuning in, feeling into how to be receptive, how to catch that spark of creativity, how to catch that fish. Okay? So good luck this week becoming more and more receptive. And if you want to stay behind and chat for maybe 15 to 20 minutes on Zoom with me, you can. For those of you that are on Facebook, thank you for joining. And I will see you next week as we unlock the next door. But for now, be receptive, be open, and see what kind of ideas or thoughts want to partner with you. All right. Thank you all.